Hello everyone, this is Void Spirit. I'm here to bring you guys amazing fanfiction that you will surely enjoy. But before we start, please subscribe and like the video for more amazing content. Chapter 6. Those that came from the church. When the confrontation between Rias and Rimuru ended, Asia was now heading home, but before they get home the two decided to have a little bit of fun and goes to a nearby arcade. The two played arcade game together and Rimuru even won a teddy bear that looks like a Pokemon. And everyone who sees them immediately ask for an autograph. It was a pain, but Asia and Rimuru didn't seem to be bothered by it. As the two finished having fun together, they headed to where Rimuru motorcycle was parked. On the way, the two were stopped by a man wearing a black coat. The two of you are rather strange. I could feel a very tiny bit of magical energy coming from that girl, the coated man said. What the hell are you saying, old man? Rimuru asked, acting like he didn't know what the man was saying. I'm not talking to you, human. Little girl, I would appreciate it if you don't move, it will make this much easy, the man said as he created a spear made of light and throws it towards Asia. But to his surprise, the spear that was supposed to hit Asia vanished. What the hell, the man said, but before he could compose himself he sensed a presence behind him. I don't really like those who suddenly attack someone, especially if the ones that are getting attacked are someone important to me, Rimuru said as he pierced the heart of the man and disintegrate its body using black flame. Let's go home, Asia, Rimuru said as if nothing happened. Asia walks towards him and hugged Rimuru's arm. Asia was no longer the naive girl that she once was. She now understood the world much better and she was willing to kill if it means protecting those that are important to her. After they headed home, they had dinner and takes a bath and like always slept together on the same bed while hugging each other. The next day the two woke up and did their usual morning routine, and after they had their breakfast they went to school. Only to be greeted by people again. The two runs towards their class so that they won't be caught up by the crowd, and when they arrived Issei immediately went and talked to them. Good morning, Asia and Rimuru, Issei greeted the two. Good morning, Issei-san, Asia said. Morning, dude, Rimuru said. Can we talk later during the break? Issei said. Sure, we'll wait for you on the school rooftop, Rimuru said. And then the bell rings and the class started. After 4 hours class ended and lunch hour is now in motion. Rimuru along with Asia headed towards the rooftop and Issei was following them. While on their way, Asia and Rimuru were talking and Issei was looking at the two. As Issei looked at Asia, who was smiling while talking to Rimuru, let out a smile. I'm glad that you are happy. Besides him, I wonder how will mom and dad react when they found out that their little daughter is now engaged, is what Issei thought. You've been smiling, Issei, is something on your mind? Rimuru asked. No. I'm just happy to see Asia happy talking with you. Issei pushes a pit and then continues, if you made my little sister cry I will rift off your bone. I don't care if I have to die in the process, Issei said with a serious eye looking at Rimuru. Don't worry, I won't make her cry and I will make her happy, Rimuru replied as she holds Asia's hands. Asia only blushed at what Rimuru said, but she was happy to hear it. After the two reached the rooftop, they started to eat their lunchbox. By the way, when are you two coming to my house? Issei said. Well, come today after school, Asia said as she continues to eat her lunch. I see, I can't wait to see what's mom and dad's reaction, Issei said, and the three continue to eat. After the lunch hour ended, they head back to their room and the class once again start. After a few more hours the school bell rings indicating the end of school and students prepare to head back home. Issei went home first and Asia and Rimuru stop at a nearby cake shop to buy cake for Issei's parents. After they bought the cake they went towards Issei's house. Of course Rimuru already knows where the location is since Seal helped him with it. So, this is your old house, are you ready, Asia? Rimuru asks Asia. Yes, Asia replied. Rimuru then knocks on the door. After a few seconds the door opened. A woman with brown hair came out of it. The woman immediately hugged Asia and cried. Asia, where have you been all this time? We were worried about you. The woman asked. She was Issei's mother and Asia's adopted mother named Miki Hyodo. I'm sorry, Oka-sama, I will explain everything later, Asia said. And you must be Rimuru, Miki said. Thank you for taking care of my daughter. I only did what I need to do for the girl that I loved, Rimuru said, and Miki made a surprised look. She then let the two in, and when the two entered they saw Issei taking to two individuals covered in a white cloak. When Rimuru and Asia entered, the two individuals were surprised and were looking at Rimuru and Asia. I'm sorry, we should go now. Sorry to take your time, one of the people said. Rimuru immediately knows that it was a girl who was talking, and what interests him is that the two were holding a holy weapons. And one of the two was an angel. Then we will go now, let's meet again, Issei-san. The girl with chestnut hair said. The two then leaves, but the other one looked at Asia before leaving. Chapter 7. Those that came from the church too. After the two individuals left, Rimuru asked Issei who they are. Issei, who are those two? Asked by Rimuru. The one with chestnut hair is a childhood friend of mine and I don't know who the other one is, Issei replied to Rimuru's question. I see. This is what Rimuru replied. He wanted to ask why they are in this house but decided not to reason, as that whatever they are after is none of his business. And that he will stay out of their way as long they don't try anything funny against Asia or him. The two who left Issei's house were discussing something on Never Issei's house. You feel it too, right, Zenobia? Asked by Irina. She had long brown hair that are tied in a ponytail tail. Her real identity was an angel that is serving the biblical God, or at least that is what she thought. Yes, I feel it too. That witch is radiating holy energy, but I don't see her carrying any holy weapon. Furthermore, she was a witch that healed a devil, Zenobia replied with a hateful look. She is a young woman with chin-length blue hair with a dyed green fringe on the right side and yellow eyes. She also dislikes devils due to the teaching of the church. Anyways, it's not our problem and she is not what we came for, so let's leave, Irina said. No, let's wait for them. I want to confirm if she really doesn't have any holy weapons with her, Zenobia said, stopping Irina from leaving. Figured you will say that, Irina said as she let out a sigh. I hope this won't be any trouble since the person beside her seems like he already knows what I am, is what Irina thought, remembering how Rimuru looked at her and at the sword behind Zenobia. Back in the Hyodo household, Issei's parents are having a nervous look since they know Rimuru, since they always saw Rimuru on the news, and they are also nervous because Asia leave them for a year and they thought that she leave them because she hates them. Mom. Dad, why are you both so tense? Issei said, shut it, son, Asia-chan, you don't hate us by any chance, right? Asked by Goru, Issei's father. Dad, why would Asia hate you both? I said shut up, son, Goru said. Asia, seeing her adopted father nervous, only let out a smile. Otto-sama, Oka-sama, why would I hate both of you? And I would never hate my family, Asia said with a smile and joyful voice. When the two heard her, they let out a breath of relief. After a while of their reunion, the two turned their attention to Rimuru. So why is a famous person here? Asked by Mickey, EHH2. Ah. I wanted to ask for both of your permission as Asia's parents if I can have her as my wife, Rimuru said. Of course, we will have to finish our studies first before we get married, Rimuru continued. When they heard that Rimuru was asking for their blessing to let Rimuru and Asia be wife in the future, they are frozen in surprise. The first to recover from the surprise was Mickey. Asia, I'll just ask one question, do you love him? Mickey said. Yes, Oka-sama, I have always loved him ever since we are a child, and I'll have up every just to be with him, Asia said with a determined eye. I see, then there is no problem, you both can even give us grandchildren, Mickey said, which made Rimuru and Asia blush. Meanwhile, Issei was still shaking his father back to reality. Oi. Dad, get a hold of yourself, Issei said, making everyone in the room laugh. After that, Asia and Rimuru stayed in Issei's house for another 3 hours and helped with housework. After that, they headed towards home, but they are stopped by Zenobia and Irina. So you really are the witch, Zenobia said. Rimuru immediately steps in front of Asia to protect her. Although Asia can protect herself, Rimuru was still as protective as always. What do the people of the church want with us? If you two are here just to insult Asia, I suggest you leave now, Rimuru said. We just wanted to confirm something. Why is that witch radiating holy energy? Asked by Zenobia. We have no obligation to tell you, Asia replied, surprising Zenobia and Irina. If you won't talk, then I'll have to force you to talk, Zenobia said as she used Durandal to launch a swing on Asia. But Durandal was met by another sword, a golden sword that is radiating holy energy that far surpasses Zenovia's Durandal. The sword that meets Durandal was Rimuru's Excalibur that was given to him by his father and mother. Irina also launched an attack towards using a mimic holy sword, but Asia stopped it with a red sword. Those swords, what are those? Irina said. This sword is the sword of promise victory, Excalibur the real one, Rimuru said. And my sword is called Sword of Divine Fire Leviathan, Asia said, while her hair changed from blonde to crimson red and her eyes turned blood red as armor appeared around her body. This is due to her using the divine sword Leviathan, which causes Asia's hair and eye color to change depending on which divine weapon she is using. We don't want any trouble, but I guess you guys won't let us leave unless we force our way out, Rimuru said, and those the battle between the wielders of a divine weapon and the users of holy weapons commence. One is being powered by the weapon they are holding, while the other is powerful enough to be considered as a god, and the other one is a literal god, a mortal against a mortal, human versus god, an angel versus seraphim, the clash of divine beings.